Personally, I'm a vicious admirer of the care package. Whether it be including them as a potential tactic in a challenge help video, or using them myself in nearly every game type I play, I'll always try to incorporate them in my class somehow. In any Call of Duty game where the care package is prevalent, I often find it's typically one of the best streaks in the game. The chance to get some of the higher streaks with very little effort makes it rank highly in my book. But of course, many people who dislike the care package will use this as an argument to back their own opinion. Why reward a wizzy-tailed noob a chance at earning a score streak that they could never attain on their own? And that's a fair point, which leads us into the topic at hand, care package odds. In prior Call of Duty games, our fellow PC players were normally able to look at the game files and determine the exact odds of score streaks. For some reason or another though, they can't do it for Black Ops 3. If you saw my Power Core Challenge guide, you'll know that I personally did my own experimenting to determine a rough estimate of the odds for each streak to appear in a care package. My sample size was extremely small, with only 166 care packages. Little did I know that one of my very own subscribers undertook this task as well. And his name is Lucky. Lucky plays on the PC and used a sample size of 1,000 care packages. And here's what he did. He called in a care package, noted the initial results, and wrote it down. He also equipped the Engineer perk, which of course allows you to re-roll a care package. He then did just that to each of the packages as well, recording the results. He was even so kind as to provide me with graphs to share. I noted in my Power Core video that Matt, the developer for Treyarch, had noted two things. One, that the mothership was not included in care packages, and two, that Engineer rerolls gives better odds for higher score streaks. So let's take a look at the results. First of all, my intention isn't to bore you with numbers and graphs. It's to give you an idea of what to expect upon your initial care package reward, as well as what to expect should you run Engineer and re-roll it. For complete details, please see Lucky's post on the Black Ops 3 subreddit, which I'll put in the description. Now most of you are likely only interested in the percent overall column. As expected, the lower streaks are all quite prevalent, with the HC car, the UAV, and the counter UAV nearly identical. Surprisingly, the Guardian ranked up there as well, and this can be handy to know. From a challenge seeker's perspective, you can use this information in a variety of ways. For example, the launcher challenges. You can run the care package and try to give it to the enemy knowing that the Guardian appears so often, which if they take it and use it, you can then destroy for your launcher camo. To me, the most surprising thing here is that the Talon is quite rare. I honestly believe this must be glitched. The Talon is nothing more than a mid-tier score streak. There's no reason it should only have a 2% chance of being in a care package. Sure, it's useful, but it's not that useful. As expected, the Wraith, the Hater, the Power Core, and the GI unit all have extremely low odds of earning, with the Power Core having the slimmest odds of them all. Take note that there was no mothership earned in any of the 1,000 care packages called in, all but confirming it can't be earned. Now let's focus our attention on the times re-rolled into category. Right off the bat, there's one score streak in particular that caught my eye, and that's the Reps. Despite it only being earned a mere 15 times from an initial care package drop, another score streak was re-rolled into the Reps a whopping 44 times. The developers clearly weren't lying when they said you have better odds at the higher streaks while re-rolling. The fact that the Reps only drops 1.5% initially, but 4.4% after re-rolling is proof of this. In fact, this is the highest change in percentage out of all the score streaks at 2.9%. It's also important to note that the Power Core is no exception to this. Remember, it has the lowest odds of appearing out of any streak at 0.3%. With re-rolling, however, it jumps up to 1.3%, which may not seem huge, but it's definitely noticeable. So here's the rest of the percentages after re-rolling. Another surprise to me was just how prevalent the sentry gun is in a care package. It had the second highest percent change out of all the streaks. Initially, you have a 9.4% chance of earning one, but re-rolling, it jumps all the way up to 11.5%. Considering how strong the sentry gun is, I'd say this alone makes always running the Engineer perk with the care package worth it. With this graph, it's much easier to see the percent chance to re-roll into a higher score streak. The blue line is the initial drop chance, and the orange line is the re-rolled chance. Again, notice the jump with the Reps. I'd say the Rolling Thunder also had quite a spike here. It's always better to see something visually rather than just hearing about it or reading it via text. Feel free to pause the video to focus on any of the charts if you feel I moved on too quickly. Lastly, I wanted to highlight something else I found interesting, which is how good of a percent chance there is of re-rolling a specific score streak into a score streak of higher point value. For example, the HC car has 100% chance of re-rolling into a higher score streak, given that it's the lowest streak in the game and can only get better. Likewise, the GI unit has a 0% chance. Given that it's the highest obtainable streak in a care package, it can only get worse. So in theory, if we look at the Talon for example, it has about a 14.5% chance of rerolling into a higher streak, such as a power core or a GI unit. Now most players, given the chance to take a Talon or reroll it, will obviously take it. But those seeking to try and earn a power core and give it to the enemy for example, may just want to gamble and take that 14.5% chance to possibly receive a power core. Personally, if it's a lightning strike or higher, I usually keep it unless I'm going for a challenge. But when I was going for the power core challenge, as much as it pained me to do so, I would often reroll even the best Scorestreaks, such as a Wraith, for that slim chance of getting the power core. I think that about wraps up all the important topics I wanted to cover when it comes to the care package odds. While we may never know the exact odds of each Scorestreak, this huge sample size of 1,000 care packages is likely as accurate as we're going to get. And again, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my subscriber Lucky for taking the time to compile all these results and allow me to share them with you. Knowing these odds, as I mentioned a few times throughout this video, can be extremely helpful when it comes to certain challenges. And speaking of which, I'm going to put my Scorestreak challenge guide in the outro as well as in the description. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly advise you check it out. If you can't earn some of the higher up Scorestreaks yourself to complete some of these challenges, the care package can remedy that for you. The main thing to take away from this video is that you should always equip the engineer perk when running the care package. If the risk is high, the reward is high. So why not roll the dice?